Hello, 7th grade. Today what we're going to do is we're going to make our clay fish. So things that you might need at home. You'll need something to cover the table. Newspaper works, cardboard works. So I have a piece of cardboard. You will need some newspaper or paper towel to put inside your clay to hold the shape. You will need something to roll your clay out with. At school we have these hard cardboard tubes. If you have an old roller that you bake with, a coffee cup that is straight could help roll. It has to be strong. Also a soda can. You can roll clay with a soda can. Make sure the soda is still inside, and if you're ever going to drink the soda, let it sit for a while so it doesn't explode on you. You'll need some water to moisten the clay, and then you'll need your container that you got from the packet pickup of clay. I also added some tools. You can just use a plain old plastic knife and fork for tools, and a pencil. We take our clay out of the container, and what we're going to do is we're going to what they call knead the clay. We roll it up and we hit it with our hands to get the air bubbles out. Do that about 10 times maybe to make sure that you get it all nice and smooth. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide it in half. Take a little bit of each half off for tails and other things that you might add to the fish. So I'm going to take the halves and I'm going to roll it into a ball. I'm going to take one of the halves that I rolled in the ball and put my thumb in the middle. Just like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch the sides. That's called a pinch pot. So I'm pinching the sides as I'm rotating it in my hand. I have to do 2 of these. This is one, this will be the other. Get the 2 pinch pots. I'm going to put them together. This is what I need the newspaper for, or the paper towels. I'm going to tear this into pieces, wad it up, and put it inside. That holds the form of the bowl. Put the 2 pinch pots together. I take a little bit of water and make the clay shiny. It's kind of like glue for clay. Then I take a plastic knife, what I call tic-tac-toe marks, or I score it. That opens up the clay so it can be joined with the other piece. Then I put the 2 together. I have this large crack all the way around the clay. So I'm taking my clay and my fingers and I'm going to smooth that. The newspaper is inside to hold the form. Smooth the cracks out with my fingers. That is the fish body. So that the clay can dry inside and outside. So I'm going to take my plastic knife and make a hole. That's going to be my mouth hole. I like to put a tail. So this extra clay that I had, roll it into a ball. And then, like I said, I need to roll this out into a slab. So I'm going to take it, use one of my devices that I told you about. I'm going to try the soda can. I just put it on the side and rock it back and forth. What I'm going to do is use my plastic knife to make a tail. I kind of cut out a triangle. Smooth it out with my fingers. To add this to the back side of my fish. So I'm going to take my tool and kind of make a ditch. Add some water. My tail inside. Kind of push and pinch them together. Take this extra clay and make a coil. Sometimes I call this a worm because it kind of looks like a worm. Using my fingers, or you can use your knife, plastic knife. Get rid of the crack. Crack is clay's enemy because the air gets inside and dries it out, and that's when it breaks. On both sides. My fish has a tail. If you would like to put a fin on the top and you have extra clay, you do it pretty much the same way. If your clay is drying out, clay is just basically dirt and water. So you can very easily take your finger, get it wet, smooth out the cracks. Don't get it really shiny because then it'll have a hard time drying, or it might have too much water and it'll fall apart. Now you're ready to add some surface detail. If you have any extra clay, you can make bulging eyes or add fins to the side. If you want to add surface texture, you can draw on it. You can use a pencil. One of my favorite tools to make is using a marker lid, because a marker lid has a circular kind of like texture, like scales, and then you can just press it into the clay for a surface design. Finished making your fish. We put our name on the bottom, usually with a pencil. We let it sit for a whole week to let the water evaporate from the clay. After it sat for a whole week drying, then we would put it in the kiln, which is the ceramic oven that I have in my room. It gets to be about 1,875 degrees. If you would like to bring your clay back to school, you may bring it back when we come back to in-person learning and sure you have your name on it. If you do not want to bring it back for it to be fired, your clay can be painted with the watercolor paints or with markers. It's just not as durable because it's just basically dry dirt. Once we put it in the kiln, it becomes ceramic, like one of these coffee mugs. It has that ting-like glass to it because it goes through a chemical process. This is the clay fish made out of 2 pinch pots. I hope you have fun with your clay.